People fighting for their lives, hoping for more time with their loved ones. Typically, someone diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, has 2 to 5 years left.
And there's no cure for it. Yet tonight, Wink News reporter Sydney Persing introduces us to two very brave local families, one living with the debilitating disease, the other dealing with the loss.
In a tiny home office in North Naples, you'll find Brian Valamont quietly hard at work. It doesn't take much time to see. He is a proud dad to his son Eli. And Eli's pretty fond of his dad too.
Because he's the best of the best.
But they're living on borrowed time. Eli's dad has ALS. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects cells in the brain and spinal cord. In the year since Brian's diagnosis, he's lost his ability to speak, eat, and walk. He needs help with everything. He's 44.
He used to be able to stand up and throw me up in the air and catch me. And it felt like a roller coaster.
Even though Brian's body is deteriorating, he still works because his mind is still sharp.
But he also has to continue to work to keep our health insurance, to keep life insurance.
His loving wife, Gay Valamont, is always by his side.
You're essentially trapped in your body. His mind is perfect. He can do quantum physics, but he can't make his body get up and walk.
This machine attached to Brian's wheelchair helps him communicate. He uses his eyes to type letters on a keyboard. It takes him upwards of 5 minutes to complete a single sentence.
This is a cruel disease that robs you of everything that outwardly makes you who you are. Then it kills you with a 100% certainty.
And I miss talking to him. I miss getting that advice. He always made the right decisions. And now we can still have conversations. It just takes a little longer. Thanks, bud.
Don't cry because you have makeup on.
Okay.
Just 25 miles north of the Valamonts, Pat Joyce knows what those tears feel like.
And mine too.
Her husband of 46 years, Dan, was 70 when he was diagnosed. She sat with him in his doctor's office when he learned of his death sentence.
June 6th, 2017. I'll never forget the day. He was shocked. I've never so rarely seen him cry. And he just had to walk out of the office. And we were shocked and fearful, tears. We were like, how are we going to tell our kids?
ALS works its way through the body fast. It was only 2.5 years between telling the kids and saying goodbye to the kids.
We did a spelling, kind of a Wheel of Fortune thing to spell out words. And he just, his last words he spelled out were, "I'm so sorry and I love you." And he went peacefully, surrounded by all of us, and he was free of that monster finally.
ALS is incurable, but there are very promising drugs in the pipeline that could slow its progression, give families more time together, hopefully enough time for a cure. But until those drugs complete FDA trials, patients can't get access.
So the devastation and the depression of living every day, knowing there might be drugs or treatments out there that you can't access, it's indescribable. You just don't understand. And if you live with an ALS patient just one day, you would understand completely.
The Valamonts understand how precious that time is, because time isn't just running out for Brian.
I have a disease too, and he does too. So it's hard.
Eli was diagnosed with a brain tumor earlier this year. It's inoperable, it's incurable, it's terminal, just like Dad's ALS.
Are you religious? I think I was before. I'm struggling a little bit with, I just find it hard to believe that a righteous God would do this to anybody.
And tonight, Eli is home with Brian and Gay, and he is now under hospice care. The pain in that home was so palpable, so was Pat Joyce's broken heart. But they shared their stories with me because they want our leaders to see and immediately pass Act for ALS, which would give more and earlier access to those critical treatments we mentioned earlier, which could give them just a few months longer.
It just seems so cruel that they can't have the treatments that they need so desperately right now.
And it's such a cruel, fast progression that even just that idea of a few more months would be an eternity.
And that Brian can't speak with his wife about their son's diagnosis, that they have to wait that long to communicate as he types with his eyes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for bringing that story. Thank you, Sydney.
Wow.